the Delhi High Court has come down hard and issued summons to YouTube over a plea filed by Aaradhya Bachhan, the granddaughter of superstar Amitabh Bachchan. Now, the HC said that the platform, which is owned by tech giant Google, cannot wash its hands of responsibility when it continues to generate revenue from every content on its platform. Now, the plea by Aaradhya Bachchan was in connection to certain defamatory content on YouTube over her health. Now, the Delhi HC said every child is entitled to be treated with honor and respect, regardless of their status, and such misleading information is intolerable. The court has asked YouTube to submit details of channels and individuals spreading misinformation and also passed restraining orders against such content. The company has also been asked to ensure strict crackdown on such content. Now, Google has been asked to comply with the High Court's directions within a week, and the matter will be taken up on or before May 9. All right, we have with us on the broadcast Kasturi Shankar, who's an actress, and Swapnil Kothari, senior lawyer. Many thanks for joining us here on the broadcast. Let me go across to Kasturi Shankar first. Kasturi Shankar, the 11-year-old Aaradhya and her parents must have been pushed to a point where they were forced to, of course, move court. Tell us, how important has it now become for celebrities to take a stand in order to also send a message out?
No, it's really heartbreaking that we as a culture have deteriorated to such a level where there are no boundaries at all. I mean, being a celebrity is okay. I quote Abhishek Bachchan. Abhishek Bachchan is a celebrity, Aishwarya is a celebrity, but their daughter, she is a child. She is not a public figure. They have a right to their personal lives. Even public figures have a right to their personal lives, and somehow in India, that basic tenet has been completely lost in a cat and mouse game of paparazzi versus celebrities. It's really unfortunate. Not too long ago, we saw Anushka Sharma being targeted in her own home by an overzealous paparazzi. So it's really unfortunate that these kind of incidents are coming more and more to light, and they're getting more and more serious in nature. That said, as somebody with a law background myself, suing Google or YouTube, which is only a platform, I'm not sure how much that can fly, because they are not a fact-finding agency. They are a content delivery mechanism, and they really don't have any control and cannot have any responsibility over the content that is given to them. I mean, they do have a very, very elaborate contract in which the content creator, clarifies and accepts and promises that the content is not inflammatory in any manner. And if they violate the contract, it's the creator's fault. You really need to take it up with the YouTube channel and not YouTube as a platform. My best wishes to Aaradhya. She's a fine young girl.
Right, Kasturi Shankar, let me get in.
People just leave her alone.
Right. Let me get in Swapnil Kothari on this. If you could please first and foremost tell us, can platforms be held liable? And do also tell us, what laws do we have in place to hold YouTube responsible?
Ashna, it's a simple example of, take an example of defamation. Say X chooses to defame Y. X chooses a newspaper to put the content. The newspaper is smart enough to know whether the content is defamatory or not, whether it's backed by facts. If it's backed by facts, truth is a complete defense to defamation. The newspaper has to verify, because newspaper is the platform on which it is going to be extrapolated to several medium and to lots of thousands and crores of people. YouTube, Google, all of them are platforms. They have to do their own vetting before they put up any story regarding anybody, whether it's a celebrity or a common man. The laws are absolutely in place. Information Technology Act, Indian Penal Code, tort of defamation, tort laws, all of these things apply, come into play. So the petition that was filed by the lawyers in question is appropriate. Now, as far as this is concerned, it is very, very essential that people need to know what content needs to be put and what it doesn't need to be, what needs to not be put. Now, as far as this is concerned, it's the question of health of a young girl. Did you choose to verify what you wrote before you try to put it up on the platform? Now, if the lawyers, maybe you did not, and if the lawyers have chosen not to file a criminal complaint against the people who've actually gone ahead and pushed up this or put up this nonsense, and I don't mean platforms, I mean the people who wrote the content, then it's for the lawyers to decide as to whether they would be successful enough against that individual or not, or that particular group of people, because usually these kind of people are not singular. They operate in a clique, or they operate, as far as the cliches, as far as some sort of a coterie or a cabal is concerned, to bring down somebody or to, malign someone. For reasons best known to them. I mean, they're not going to target Aaradhya just for herself, but I believe because she's a daughter of celebrity parents. So I think if they have some grudge against the parents and they cannot find muck against them, then they go attack the daughter. Now, that's how petty and cheap that they can get. Now, as far as the laws are concerned, they are pretty adequate. Google and YouTube need to be responsible about what they put in, and that's the reason why the High Court has pulled them up, and the matter has been posted for hearing. So obviously, meanwhile, up until May, when this matter is heard, all of the content needs to be pulled down, and hopefully will be pulled down, and should be pulled down.
Right, but do you think the laws that have been put into place, the policies, they have not kept up with the pace at which technology has grown?
I thought that's a question, we can debate till the cows come home, but, you could be right to a certain extent, but then that's for the legislature to determine that, look, this is happening and that is happening, and let's keep up pace with the laws and come out with amendments, which they don't, unfortunately. They come out with some hilarious amendments as far as several other legislation is concerned, but something of this nature which really, really warrants a complete upheaval, or should I say, some significant amendments so as to ensure that these things do not take place. Say, for example, until the legislation, until the legislature comes out tomorrow about same-sex marriages, whether they are allowed or not, the Supreme Court order, which I'm sure will go in the favor of people, gay people wanting to marry, will operate as that particular interregnum period until which there is a law that tells the police or the moral police not to, go into and intrude upon a wedding of gay people, because if that's what the order will say of the Supreme Court. So likewise, these kind of interim amendments until and unless, or these judgments, should I say, until and unless the legislature comes out with a comprehensive Information Technology Act or an updated Technology Act or an updated defamation law as far as this particular thing is concerned. Right now we have only 499, 500 of IPC for criminal defamation, and we have civil defamation under the law of torts. So the thing is, it's that the law is, always wanting, given the fact that the people who are violating it are going 10 steps ahead of the current laws in that sense. But nevertheless, interpretative liberalism, as what we call it in law, that people, the judges tend to have a wider interpretation, applying it to what is going on in today's current climes, is something which then facilitates and protects the rights of the citizens, such as that of Aaradhya Bachhan. That this is what it is. You cannot put up this kind of a defamatory content. Please pull it down. And May 4, May 5, whenever the hearing is done, then maybe if she's asked for damages, because I haven't read the petition, I don't know what are the contents of the petition. But if she's asked for some damages, then they'll possibly consider that, or whatever the omnibus prayers that have been given, that is something which the court will look at.
Right. Swapnil Kothari, Kasturi Shankar, many thanks for joining us here on the broadcast and sharing your views.
I'd like to, with due respect, interject and say that.
All right. And in fact, the Delhi High Court has ruled that the victim of a sexual offence has unbridled participatory rights in all criminal proceedings in the matter, but there's no legal requirement to make her a party to the proceedings. In fact, let's now listen into this conversation with my colleague Nilashish.
We're joined by Mr. Parveen Anand, who appeared for Aaradhya Bachchan in this case. Sir, first and foremost, the court was very, very strict in terms of its orders that were passed and pulled up YouTube. How do you see the order that has been passed in terms of not just restraining, but also the observations that were made?
I think it's a very, very progressive order because protection of children has been seen globally as a highly sensitive issue. The court today equated a child physical health, mental health issue with child pornography. Number one. Number two, the court said that the obligation to remove such objectionable videos is an immediate one. There's nothing like 36 hours and all that. So immediately that must be removed by the intermediary. So those two interpretations of the new rules is a rather novel thing which will affect almost any case that involves children.
Also, sir, the court was very clear in pulling up YouTube also with regard to its zero tolerance policy and saying that this needs to come within it as well.
Absolutely. So the court kept emphasizing that when it concerns children, there is an absolute zero tolerance policy, and that's why those two, the spin-off concepts of one, immediate action must be taken, and two, it must be equated with child pornography.
Very last question, sir, that as far as now Google and YouTube and other associates are concerned, they have to comply within a week.
Yes.
So is that immediate enough? Because it was said by Google, as you were pointing out, that they should say in the order that it should be 36 hours and there should be a time frame. But the court also said that if this was a case of child pornography, would you still ask for 36 hours? So the effect of this entire aspect of compliance, how does this affect the IT rules going forward?
The court has actually said immediately, and so immediately we would expect that the same day that it is brought to their attention that they must take action. And if they did say that they have a policy of zero tolerance as regards pornography and pedophilia, so the court said if you have a zero tolerance policy already, then this must be included in your policy. Whenever it concerns child health and child physical or mental health, it is part of that kind of zero tolerance policy which you already have.
All right, shifting focus, the Delhi High Court has ruled that the victim of a sexual offence has unbridled participatory rights in all criminal proceedings in the matter, but there is no legal requirement to make her a party to the proceedings. Now, the court said it was clear that the victims of crime can no longer be asked to remain mere spectators and must be accorded participatory rights in the legal proceedings initiated in relation to the crime alleged to have been committed against them. The court, however, added that the name, parentage, address, social media credentials and photographs of the victim must not be disclosed in the filings made in court.